we're here today to talk about some of the things we're seeing in the marketplace as pertains AI, so that we can level set and enable all of you to go down a path to take advantage of AI so that it benefits you. We're not here to simply talk about AI for the purpose of AI. Instead, we're here to focus on safety and risk concerns. We're here to focus on the individuals attending this webinar and to talk through what we think will help you understand how to wrap your goals around AI and navigate the best ways to achieve these goals. So Dave, you and I have had a lot of conversations with customers and prospects. And what we want to talk through today is thematically many of the things that we're hearing from these customers and prospects, both those individuals who've struggled to get started and those individuals who had some success in this regard. What we're finding is that there's often either confusion or, quite frankly, fear about AI due to the things they're hearing on a regular basis from every source, from news, from their peers, from social media, from professional media, etc. And let's face it, it can be overwhelming. AI is new and everybody's got a different viewpoint on it. So our goal here is to settle into the concept a little bit, to rid ourselves of the noise, so that we can focus on how individuals in safety and risk can clearly think about AI and how it will benefit them. So I wanted to, for those attendees today, start a conversation intended to inform, encourage, and clarify how each of you should think about AI so that you can get started realizing the benefits. So sit back, relax, let's take some polls, let's throw out some questions, let's learn together and begin this exciting journey to demystify AI. So Dave, let's begin with the following. Let's talk about what AI is and how we should think about AI.
Yes, and I think that is such a good question, because everybody says AI, and we've realized that everybody means something a little bit different. And even the people who are at AI companies are talking about AI in different ways. It's kind of become a catch-all. So before we kind of jump too far in, let's get a little technical just to help people understand what we're talking about and what it means. And then you can start talking about what you do with it. So there's a technical definition of AI, which is broad and overreaching, but in layman's terms, it is a broad field of technologies that are focused on creating systems to perform tasks that typically require what has been deemed human intelligence. So things like recognizing visuals, speech recognition, decision-making, language translation. It's also, an area of tech where you try to actually have technology imitate some human brain functions. That's great. I think for purposes here today, what we're talking about with AI really is thinking about it as a system, to collect and use information to improve decision making, to enhance and augment the work that people do, and to find ways to help make people or enable people to solve business problems faster. I think one of the things that I think often gets mixed up is, what is AI in the movies or AI in the worst case versus where is the technology today? And I think a lot of people have had some fun leading into that because it's created a lot of noise and a lot of excitement. But from our perspective, and I think where we're going to try to work through today, is to really help you see where AI is truly just a faster and potentially better way to solve a problem. It's actually an evolution of tools that I'm sure many of you have actually been using for the past years or decades, depending upon how much time you've spent in this space. And so as we dig a little bit deeper here, Tom, do you want to hop on the next slide for me? I know that there's a ton of different terms that people use to describe AI today. I guess, Tom, help people think about, how these, what these terms are and kind of how they apply to AI and risk and insurance, if you would.
It's a great point. And, my gut instinct is to say we shouldn't. I mean, we shouldn't get too caught up in these terms. So as stated, we should sort through all of this to get to the business benefit. So let me walk through this, Dave, for a moment to help everybody understand where we sit. So you and I are a couple of geeks who could spend hours talking about these terms and generative AI tools like ChatGPT and Dolly and how these tools are being used to create text, images, and even music. But that's not what we're here to do today. I think that so many people get caught up in terminology rather than business benefit. And to your point, it deserves a lot of flash. It deserves a lot of interest. And when you begin to dive deep into some of the articles and conversations on this topic, people love to throw out these terms because they're new and they're different and they're quite frankly confusing. So it keeps us engaged in reading. But I think the value when we have conversations with customers who are going down this path is that many of them, quite frankly, aren't concerned with these terms. Instead, what they are doing is focus on the business benefits. So in our conversations, we really feel that there's a bit of a hindrance to understanding all these terms. So, the example that I talk about often is that Apple's rolling out their new AI tools. And what they're discussing in terms of the value to customers is that, for example, when they are interacting on their phone, and if a friend sends a text with your new address, Dave, with their new address rather, to you, Dave, and Siri allows with the new AI tools for you to say, hey, Siri, add this address to their contact card. Siri will take care of it. So a real simple but practical example associated with how we're all going to start interacting with AI on a regular basis. And we don't need to know that this is powered by Apple Intelligence or Siri with on-screen awareness. You don't need to understand Apple's relationship with OpenAI. You don't need to understand OpenAI's advanced learning models. You simply need to say, what do I want to do? And what are the results that I want? And so when we think about that example, we also begin to think about business benefit to all of our customers. So again, when we talk to customers about these terms, those that are making progress are not burdened by these terms. They're not burdened by the complexity of AI, but instead they're saying, I want to focus on my business benefit, and I want to think about how the various tools available to me, including AI, can address those benefits.
Very well said, sir.
Indeed, thank you.